Hello, everyone. I welcome you all in this podcast. Today we have with us Walter Sylesh. Walter has secured 774 rank in his third attempt. In the first attempt, he could not clear the prelims. In the second attempt, he was able to attempt the mains, but unfortunately could not clear. In the third attempt, finally he made it to the list. So I want to congratulate Walter first. Congratulations, Walter, for your success.
Thank you very much.
And entire this journey, how you have started, what you have done, and what were the subjects, what was your interest during the graduation, and how did you started thinking about the UPSC?
So thank you very much for having me here, and it's a pleasure to be in this esteemed institution and under the guidance of mentors like you. And thank you for your kind words. I have, as you've said, I'm a lawyer by profession, but I've had some opportunities to travel abroad through fellowships and scholarships, which I'm very grateful for. These are some things that have been rewarded due to my own professional interests, diverse interests. So I am someone who grew up in Chennai, a metro city. Okay. And in my school, they always wanted excellence and they always wanted global exposure in all our thinking. And then at the time, I could not really think about traveling outside my state, let alone the country. But it was always an aspiration to, stay in touch with what's happening in the world and, represent the country in a global stage, which drew me to the civil services. Thankfully, through my law degree and the experiences and all of this, I had some opportunity to see a little bit of the world, represent my country in some way.
That's good.
But I always had the intention to come back home and then, represent us, the country on the global stage through the civil services.
That's beautiful. So I think we can say that your interest, or you can say the opportunity which you have got during your childhood education has motivated you to pursue this career, right? Can we say that?
Definitely.
Because it has played a major role, as I can see.
Definitely, sir. Childhood education is a foundation for any child, and that brings them to contribute as an active citizens of the country, as also a proud member of the human civilization as such. That's how I saw myself.
What a noble thought. So 24 you gave the attempt, like 24 in 24 you gave the first mains, right? And in 25 it was the second mains. What was the exact strategy did you follow, did you believe? Because see, I think you came to us in June or July last year, right? I guess after the prelims we met for the first time.
Yes, sir.
And I think you was confused which program you should choose, because there are various programs we were running last year. Like there were senior programs, then there was a camp, mains camp, then short program, right? So I still remember you asked me, sir, you was confused, like which program to join. Then I explained you, like after assessing your performance, because that time, to be like, let me be very frank here, right? I'm going to be very honest. When I asked you a few questions about the mains, do you have the notes? Did you prepare the list of the value addition? Did you prepare the list of all the facts, examples? Then you was not comfortable that point of time, I guess, right? Because you had the notes and everything, but those notes were very like the notes which we prepared during the foundation classes and all. So you was not very confident with the proper notes. Then I suggested you that you should go for the camp. Then you requested, I want to attend a demo classes. Then I think you attended the first demo classes of the Mohit sir, right?
Yes.
So what did you learn in that class? Why did you thought that this program is going to help you? In that camp, I'm talking about that live discussion which we used to conduct in the camp, because the same program we have launched in this year also. And for next, after prelims, we are going to launch it again. So what did you learn in that one session? Do you think that one session could be a game changer? So, as far as the mains preparation is concerned, obviously.
So definitely, I think I would say, to add to you, at your point, that it's not just that one session, but also that one meeting I had with you that helped me put things in perspective. So having the opportunity to have written mains, which a lot of students don't get to, in the first try, I had taken a little bit of a more very my own attitude to it, thinking that let me write things in my own way, like in the way you write college exams or you write those brilliant college essays, which you often studied the night before and did, and you thought mains was just one of those and prelims was the hardest. But somehow when the results came out, it was a shocker. And that's when you understand that every exam and every cycle is designed to test something, and is designed to test particular things for the services that people want to go for.
Right.
And in the classes, that one first class, this is what I learned, that the civil services mains also has a flow, and that you'll have to align yourself to the flow. And every word that's printed on the paper has some significance.
Yes.
And then how you convey good meaning, convey the answer.
I think we did discuss some questions also.
Yes, we did.
Right? We did discuss some questions, because that is what I do. Whenever I meet the new students who are always confused, like, because see, the attitude which you just talked about, right? Sometimes we are very adamant. We don't accept the reality, right? We get too rigid. Ki yaar, kya seekh lunga main? Right? I know the answer writing. I have been writing for last couple of years. What I'm going to learn from the answer after joining the answer writing program? It is not about learning new thing. It is about whether that program can teach you how to think differently. I'm not going to, because see, my competition is not with the UPSC. My competition is with someone who is sitting in front of me and writing the exam, right? I have to make sure that I should beat him, not beat UPSC. So if I can make you think differently, your answer writing will improve automatically, right? Yes. So that is something I think we did discuss before you joined the mains camp. And you already know that in mains camp, we had a very good result. Right, your fellow members, you will recognize them when you will meet them in Labasna, right? Definitely. Then you will realize who were they. They also get the very good rank. So apart from that, Walter, if you have, because anyway you are going to attempt the next year also, right? What do you think? What would be your strategy? Because now your entire thought process has changed. Now you have got the confidence, yes, I have come so far. Now it is not that difficult to improve the rank, right? Because I know, after talking with you, I know you are a good motivational speaker as well.
Sir, you're very kind. And I think I've gotten a lot of motivation from you and the other faculties who've taught me here. But I would stop short of trying to, say anything to people who have attempted this exam many times, because my knowledge also of the cycle is limited, and I'm also evolving my views. And but if I were to say something, that my journey has so far been like, I couldn't clear the one step, and then I moved to the next step, and so on. And perhaps we can always look back, see what worked, see what did not work, and keep our ego aside for a little bit and try to work on what is something that can change your marks for the better. With that being said, I don't see myself in a position to advise anybody on what they can do. And I'm just grateful that there are platforms like this where we can identify what mistakes, like how Sir pointed it out, in my mains. And then I'm glad that I could go forward. Now, your question about my strategy for the next following year is like, now I understood that we need to follow a specific thing, specific flow, and that's what the examiners and that's what the commission wants. That's the kind of officers that they want to recruit.
Right.
And now you have to align yourself to become more like that. Bring your strengths, streamline them, target it towards what we're going to do. Because ultimately, UPSC is not a service about who's the smartest person in the room. You're going to deal with public people, public in various forms, and
right.
They have their own demands, and we need to be open to change. The world is also changing. So I think this is the attitude that I'm going to take forward. Okay. Now, when the marks come out, the jury is still out as to what worked for me specifically, and I will probably take my call based on that.
Yes, as I think the performance in this year is very, very important, and that's going to be very, very crucial, I guess, right? Because without that, it will be difficult to start again. Because in this journey, everything has to be started from the scratch, right? After attending the foundation training, I'm sure you will begin with the preparation, if not now. But I would suggest if you already have planned that you will be giving the attempt, then you should be serious from the very next day, right?
Definitely, sir.
Right, that's good. So, Walter, any specific advice you have for the prelims? Any specific strategy? Because we are very close to the prelims. Many students have so much anxiety in their head, and so there are so much of noises in the market as far as the prelims is concerned. Noises means someone, like, there are one chunk of a student who think only the current affair will help. Some chunk of a student who always think, okay, after, the only way to clear the prelims is just attempting the n number of questions, n number of test series, right? So according to you, what strategy has worked for you to clear the prelims? Or it was just a very, you can say, normal thing for you to clear the prelims? You was never afraid of it?
No, sir, I would never put things that way. And I've learned through having been through the 3 stages that each stage has its own challenges,
Yes.
own ways to do things. And noise in the market means, because the market is huge, obviously there are going to be various strategies which work for some and which
Yes.
did not work for another. We need to understand what kind of person we are. Then that is the importance of test series and mocks. You'll get a feel of how you respond to exam tension. You might know the concept, you might know the answers, but at that moment, how will you choose and evaluate, make a decision? So this decision making skill is what's being trained or filtered out in the prelims process. As for the strategies that had worked for me and which did not work in the earlier attempt, same thing. I had focused on the PYQs. I started looking at the past year question papers. There are some themes that recur, and then there's some ways of questioning that continue to happen.
Yes.
So we need to get familiar with this kind of what PYQs teach us. But this is not to discount that current affairs are not important. Like reading newspapers, I've never read a current affair magazine. I've always stuck to newspapers, and their reflections on a test series also have helped me improve on the particular year. So PYQs would be my strategy, and identifying specific themes and being very strong in your basics. Sometimes the mistake that a lot of people do, and what I did in my first attempt, was to overload myself with all the current affairs and every magazine, every subject. Magazines come with this subject. This is what important facts. I'd overloaded with all of that, and I went into the paper and I blanked out. And I didn't really score well that paper. And then when I used on my static knowledge and trying to arrive at the answers. So how many questions attempted varies from person to person. I'm not one to say that this should work, this should not. That's for you to go to a test series or a way to find out, and perhaps try the prelims camp, which has worked for me.
Okay, so you was a student of prelims camp also?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So prelims camp and mains camp, right? So now you have, I think there is a strong trust between the word camp and Walter. That I can put it rightly, right?
Right, so the continuous assessment and mentorship program, I think that's the expanded form. It has helped me.
Okay, so Walter, last question as far as the answer writing is concerned, because why I really want to emphasize on the answer writing, because see, prelims is, no matter how much effort you are going to put for the prelims, the result is always dicey. Do you accept it? No matter how much effort you put in for the prelims, the result is, most of the time, every student feel it can be anything. It can be positive, it can be negative. But if you are focusing, if you are putting hell lot of effort in mains, definitely your marks will improve. That is for sure. I have seen, even I was talking with the Rahul Shekhar, rank 75, even he has just told me the same thing. So if I would have to ask you, what are the 3-4 things you have learned after attending the live mains camp sessions, which we used to conduct on a daily basis, right? Or if you would have to recommend someone, okay, daily answer writing should be done or weekly answer writing should be done, which one should we prefer, right? Considering the student is average, he has given 1 mains or 2 mains. So what would you recommend? Daily answer writing practice? I'm talking about after the prelims, right? Because now there is no point to talk about the mains. After the prelims, if you have to suggest someone, you should go for daily answer writing like we used to do in camp, and daily discussions followed by the answer writing followed by the discussion, or weekly test series. So what would you suggest and why? What are your learning? What is your experience in that regard?
Right, sir. Sir, as you said, prelims tends to be a little dicey, but it has a fixed outcome. The question and the answer is in front of you, and you only have to learn the muscle memory that you need is to handle the pressure at the moment, bubble at the right points, and make sure you don't make some mistakes there.
Very rightly said. Even Rahul Shekhar has told this, even the GS paper 1 in prelims is also aptitude test.
Right, sir, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but on the second mains, we have requirements of some particular number of words to be written in 3 hours, and each question has its own demands. So this is a specific skill that needs to be developed, and as any skill would have, sir, in my experience, you cannot build a skill by just learning the same concept and thinking about it and orally answering it. I mean, it helps to brainstorm, but you need to develop the skill. So if someone is average and is beginning to start their prep after the prelims, daily answer writing will get them into the flow. So I remember mains camp had this wonderful thing where there was a timer on the screen.
Yes.
And then the question will stay as long as the timer was in 7.5 minutes. And initially when you start, you take 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and then you write a half an answer, and then the next question arrives. So it gives you that sort of trains your mind. Initially, it'll be hard, but then over 3-4 days, it gets better. And the discussions also help in opening, oh, I could have thought of things in this perspective. I could have thought of things in this dimension.
Yes.
There's another thing.
Because we never, in mains camp discussion, or in fact, this happens in all the program which we are running, we don't really discuss the model answer. Have you noticed it or not? We don't really discuss the model answer. We discuss the approach. We discuss the approach, how to think logically, how to think about the template, how to think about the framework. We also don't believe that there should be like template for each and every topic which we should provide you or which we will give you. I never promise my students, there are list of template I will give you and you can just use it blindly. This strategy will never work. There are so many templates available online, offline. You can go and check. I'm damn sure if you are not going to practice on your own, if you are not going to analyze the questions on your own, it is very difficult to apply the ready-made templates. Practice is very, very important, right? So that is the first thing I'm sure you must have learned, because a lot of students in the camp, they have given a very positive feedback that even if they don't have the content, they can write a good answer at least.
Definitely.
Right.
Sir.
Value addition, examples, facts you can prepare in a short period of time also. We also have a smasher. You have referred the smasher?
Yes.
Mains smasher?
Yes.
So we have already compiled those things. Any other learning from the mains camp apart from this structuring and all?
Yes, sir. As you mentioned, I think I should have brought that forward. That is the most important thing, because knowledge is so endless and it's vast. The syllabus may be small, but each keyword has a lot of content to cover.
Yes.
And then you need to train your brain to think in buckets. I think that is the word was used.
Yes.
You think in certain ways when a question is posed, and then you're able to arrive at the answer in that short time, and you're able to deliver if at least think in the right direction. And that is a skill that we need to hone and master when you actually give your final test on the mains day. So this was also something that helped me. Initially, it was like, okay, I need to memorize all of these points and then try and replicate them if a question like this is asked. Later, it became about, okay, if a question like this is asked, I think along these lines.
Yes.
And that is also an important learning I think people should understand, and that'll make the game much better.
Yes, definitely. That is what I always emphasize in each and every session, because we don't believe in rote learning, right? That rote learning time has gone. UPSC now have started asking a very open-ended question, man. No one, I think even no one will have the notes sufficient to address each and every demand of the question, right? There will be hardly 30%, not more than 30 or 40% question, even in the mains, in which you will be very, very comfortable, right? 60% of the questions are going to be open-ended, in which every student will be able to write the answer, but at the same time, it will be very difficult to score in those answers. Right? So you have to think differently. If you don't know how to think about the framework template, then it will be difficult to even fill the pages. Right? And forget about you will get a good marks just by filling the pages. There has to be structure. There has to be, examiner is not going to read your content. Examiner is going to read the flow you are thinking, the organization of your thought, not the organization of your point. That is the point the students needs to understand, that answer writing is what? Organization of thoughts, right? That is what you write down on a piece of paper. So if you are not able to organize your thoughts, answer writing is very, very difficult.
Definitely, sir. And I think I would like to add something from my own experience. Like after I did not clear my first mains, where I wrote eloquently, wrote in paragraphs, wrote some, like an op-ed. But when I had the opportunity and privilege to be an intern with the Ministry of External Affairs, and that's when I learned that how government functions. Nobody has time, and they're all short of time, and you need the information to be conveyed. And then everyone's not looking at pages of, I had to do 25 pages of research on particular topics, But when I actually meet the person who's making the decision, I have to give that person a summary in 2 minutes or 3 minutes or a 1 page.
Right.
So now this experience taught me that in the next attempt, UPSC is probably also testing something similar. In a public facing job, you'll have to convey your reports and points in a concise manner. And this is the skill that you're in a way honing, in addition to your knowledge and the brilliance that you bring to the table. I think that's the lesson I took. And I hope maybe it enriches someone else's.
Yes, to almost all my students, that is what I always tell. Write the answer so that anyone who is going to read your answer should make, or like if you are writing an answer, make sure the person who is going to evaluate your copies or your content, he should understand it by reading it vertically, not horizontally. Right? तो मैं हमेशा ये बोलता था कि यार यूपीएससी में कॉपी आंसर ऐसा लिखो कि वर्टिकली समझ में आए व्हाट यू आर राइटिंग. No one has a time to read word by word. No one is going to read your answer horizontally. They are going to read vertically because they also have to save time. They have to check so many copies, right? They are not going to focus on each and every word. The side heading should be very strong. If you are writing any data example, it has to be highlighted. You have to understand the core demand of the question, where to focus on. Right? Otherwise, all the answers, they become very monotonous, right? So that is good thing. So Walter, I think that's all. It is, we like the entire team is so happy, and I'm sure everyone would be happy at your home also. Any plans further how to celebrate this moment?
Sir, it's just going to be trying to spend more time with my family. That's because good. Of the preparation, you had to travel to many places and gain knowledge and from a lot of places.
Don't worry, you will get the opportunity in Lavadana. There will be Bharat Brahman.
Now it's about spending time with the family and being grateful for all that they provided you, and also trying to give back to the society.
Thank you so much, Walter, spending time with us. And we will be coming up with more podcasts with many rankers. Almost 100 plus students have cleared from the Sure Shot batch have cleared all the stages. In previous podcast, I said 80 because the counting was still going on. Now I have confirmed it's more than 100 students who have cleared the UPSC 2025. So I will try to bring more number of candidates, the rankers, who will be sharing their strategy. And once after a week or so, I will bring more rankers or few rankers to conduct a Zoom session, or it can be YouTube live, where we'll be talking about the strategy specifically for the mains, or maybe for the prelims, or even for the interviews. Right? So thank you so much, Walter, on this platform.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you best of luck.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for providing me all the resources and this opportunity to interact.
It is our pleasure, Walter.
And help fellow students.
Thank you.